By the way, happy holidays, everyone. These days, you don't need an excuse to have a little get-together at your place. You want to watch the big game or a New Year's party? Whatever. Stock your party with drinks from Drizzly, the go-to app for drink delivery. Download the Drizzly app or go to drizzly.com. That's DRIZLY.com. You can schedule drinks to be delivered up to 2 weeks in advance or in as little as 60 minutes. Plus, Drizzly helps you save dough by comparing prices on a huge selection of beer, wine, and spirits from local stores. So grab that to-do list of yours and cross out, go to the liquor store. Download the Drizzly app today or go to drizzly.com. Again, DRIZLY.com. No more going on beer runs or stressing out about finding a particular bottle of wine. Download the Drizzly app or go to drizzly.com, the go-to app for alcohol delivery. Must be 21, not available in all locations.
The Celebrity Jobber Podcast with Jeff Zito. If you like what you hear, please subscribe, give a 5-star rating, and leave a review. Check out all our past episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you pod. What if these celebrities weren't famous? What would they have become? What was their first job? We're about to find out.
It was just about 2 years ago, the lead singer of the band Ratt had revealed that he had been diagnosed with liver cancer. Seems like he just went to the doctor, a routine blood test came back that he had hepatitis C, and oh yeah, you've also got some cancer. So as he has been privately dealing with this cancer diagnosis, it may explain a few things that have happened to Stephen Pearcy over the years. He went viral when he took the stage somewhere and couldn't really perform the song and had to sit down. And people thought maybe alcohol or drug use was an issue. And it turns out that it was the medication that he was on, and then maybe, had a beer or so. It didn't agree with him, if you will. Stephen Pearcy also came out with a documentary. Really cool if you have a chance to check it out. It's called Nothing to Lose, a Stephen Pearcy rockumentary. And I think it's still streaming everywhere, Roku, Amazon, Apple TV. A really great documentary and dives pretty deep into the life of Stephen Pearcy. Will the band Ratt ever get back together again? If he wasn't the lead singer of Ratt, what would Stephen Pearcy be doing? What was his first job? His big break? The answer to all those questions are coming up with my guest this week on Celebrity Jobber, Stephen Pearcy from Ratt.
Hello.
What's up, dude?
Oh, doing way cool, man.
I love it, man. First, I want to ask, how's your health?
I'm copacetic, It's every 3-month maintenance, and I'm good, thank God.
That is, when the news came out a few years ago that you had liver cancer, I think it was liver cancer, wasn't it, Stephen?
Correct. Yeah.
That's pretty scary stuff. So to hear that you're doing good and in remission and everything is cool is just, that's just got to make you feel good and feel like you got 9 lives, brother.
Yeah, and it gives you a little retrospect on life itself, as some people in my situation would know. And it's made me prioritize actually my business and how I've stood the test of time and what I'm doing next.
Right.
And the legacy I want to leave,
Right. Tell me a little bit about growing up in California. First of all, I got to tell you, I saw the documentary Nothing to Lose. I think it's great. Mm-hmm. And I have so many questions for you. I'm going to try to get through them as quickly as I can here. But tell me a little bit about growing up in California, your family life. How was your family life?
It was cool. It was fatherless, but I had a mother who was hardcore, cracked a whip, and made you work for things, and nothing was for free. Nobody rides for free. I lived in Los Angeles first. I had no aspirations of being into music, at all. I wanted to race cars. And I was preparing myself to become a race car driver, top the old dragster driver. And, my family ended up moving, remarried, moving to San Diego. I get in an accident, and they say, good luck. Well, when I'm in the hospital, they give me a guitar. Somebody gave me a guitar, and I just adapted to it. Next thing you know, music was my thing. It was my calling. I didn't ask questions. I just dug in 100% and went for it.
So did you ever go back to wanting to get into, race car driving? Like after you healed, you got in the accident, you have nothing to do for months. So recuperation is boring as shit. You got to grab a guitar to keep your mind going. You figured out music was your passion. You loved it. But after you healed, did you ever think about getting back into a race car?
It was not going to happen. I was injured too. I was beat too much, and I would have been irreparable if they would have, even to this day, if something were to happen, because I had rods in my femurs and wires and pins, but you know what? That would be a big yes, because as soon as the band became successful and I was able to get involved again, I started sponsoring top fuel dragsters and funny cars, and that's what I do to this day.
That's awesome.
Throughout the year.
So listen to me here for a minute. We're all busy these days, and we're not getting any younger, trying to eat healthier. I don't know about you, but I don't have the time to meal prep the entire week, and usually convenience isn't healthy, i.e. fast food. Well, listen to me, because I have the answer. Factor. It's America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit, and I love them. Sure, you can buy one of those frozen things in the grocery store. Not only does it taste like crap, you're hungry an hour later. My Factor meals are fresh, never frozen, and delicious. Choose from over 34 dietitian-approved meals ready to eat in 2 minutes. You could try the Calorie Smart option, where you're looking at around 550 calories per serving. Protein Plus, if you're a meat eater like me. Or Gourmet Plus, if you're a little fancy. Head to factormeals.com/jobber50. Use code JOBBER50 to get 50% off. That's code JOBBER50 at factormeals.com/JOBBER50 to get 50% off. Do you remember what your first job was, Stephen? Like first paying job?
Let me think about that. Yes, I actually do. It was, I worked at a head shop in Los Angeles. And if people don't know what a head shop is, it was the place where you bought paper, rolling papers, and, pipes and paraphernalia, and that didn't last too long. And then I worked at a record store in Marina Del Rey, and this is when I was into music, and me and somebody in there, we were too rowdy and partied when we were in there. And I told them, one day you're going to be selling my record. And they went, yeah, right.
That's awesome.
And lo and behold, it was a Warehouse Records. Remember those?
Absolutely. I remember Warehouse Records. Sure do.
It's crazy that people now, or the last 10, whatever, how many years, don't know record stores existed.
It's sad.
And that's where shit happens.
Yeah, no doubt. So listen to me here for a minute. We're all busy these days. And we're not getting any younger, trying to eat healthier. I don't know about you, but I don't have the time to meal prep the entire week. And usually convenience isn't healthy, i.e. fast food. Well, listen to me, because I have the answer. Factor. It's America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit. And I love them. Sure, you can buy one of those frozen things in the grocery store. Not only does it taste like crap, you're hungry an hour later. My Factor meals are fresh, never frozen, and delicious. Choose from over 34 dietitian-approved meals ready to eat in 2 minutes. You could try the Calorie Smart option, where you're looking at around 550 calories per serving. Protein Plus, if you're a meat eater like me. Or Gourmet Plus, if you're a little fancy. Head to factormeals.com/jobber50. Use code JOBBER50 to get 50% off. That's code JOBBER50 at factormeals.com/JOBBER50 to get 50% off. Stephen, what do you consider was your big break? Do you remember something happening that just changed everything for Ratt?
100%. I was booking the band. I was actually our agent manager for, up until Marshall Burrell discovered us at the Whiskey. I had booked a gig at the Whiskey for us because we became a huge house band at Gazzari's, and the next thing you want is a Whiskey because that's what Van Halen did. And I was able to get a gig at the Whiskey and opening up for Saxon. And it was for 2 shows one night, and Saxon requested 2 bands. One was Ratt and one was Metallica to open up their Friday and Saturday night show. 2 shows apiece. And that was our big break.
Wow. And everything changed for you right after that.
Yeah, we became house band at the Whiskey after that.
Huge.
And started having a huge following there. And wow, and then I just followed the steps of, the mighty Ed Van Halen, who I had met in '78 when I lived in San Diego, and moved my band up there in 1980. And that's where that goes. Man,
so with Ratt, the box set coming out, the Atlantic Years, am I to say with this new box set coming out that there will be a Ratt reunion sometime in the future? Because I know you and Warren are speaking still and talking about it, or at least that's what I heard.
That would be a big no. I think the only input all of us had was for this box set, and I think we'll leave it at that. And I think Robin would appreciate that because he'd be down here kicking some ass if he was around. So no, there will not be, not without Robin. And I think the more I do these interviews, the more it's becoming evident that that's where it should stop.
Well, we gotta ask, because it seems like sometimes the answer does change. And
I can't go out there and have my band represented with 3 unknowns and then an original member you can't even recognize who has no interest really in the true legacy of the group,
Such a huge and influential band from the 80s and 90s. And Stephen Pearcy, thank you so much for your story. Really, really interesting stuff. I appreciate your time, man.
Thank you, brother.
I mean, 0 aspirations of getting into the music biz. He wanted to be a race car driver, which is kind of funny. I always try to compare myself to guests, and my comparison to Stephen Pearcy is that I was somewhat interested in drag racing. When I was early on in my radio career, I had a gig on Tuesday nights at a drag strip. And, they would pay me a few bucks to come out there and introduce the drag races. And I kind of got interested in drag racing at the time. So I tried it a few times. I liked it. I wasn't good at it. But that's about where the comparison, that's about where the similarity comes to an end. So had zero interest in the music biz until, of course, he got into that accident. I think he said he was riding his bike, got hit by a car, goes into the hospital. No more drag racing. That was finished. And while he was in the hospital, somebody gave him a guitar. And that basically was something to kind of pass the time for Stephen while he was, in the hospital, and started playing guitar. Kind of loved it. And that's the beginning of that, his love for music. First job. I love how he had to explain to us what a head shop was. I guess because these stores are all over the place now, these smoke shops, but they used to call them head shops, and he felt the need to explain it to us. I thought that was kind of funny. So that was his first job. Then he also worked at a record store, and I really thought it was cool to when he was getting fired from his job or when he left, whatever the case may be, he said to the manager of a warehouse records out there in Southern California, "One day you're going to be selling my records, dude." And guess what? It happened. We all dream of a scenario like that, right? You know, when you're having a bad situation at work and you're walking out and you say something stupid like that, but it actually became true for Stephen Pearcy. Such a cool story. And his big break, opening up for this band Saxon at the Rainbow. Now, anybody that knows anything about rock and roll, the Rainbow on the Sunset Strip, man, that was the bar that made bands. And they made Ratt. They wanted two bands to open up for them. One was Ratt, the other was Metallica. And we all know what happened to Metallica. So one gig at one place changed the band's trajectory forever. They ended up becoming the house band at the Rainbow. And the rest, my friends, is rock and roll history. As far as Ratt ever getting back together, because you see a lot of these bands from the 80s, they're getting back together. The Def Leppard, Motley Crue, Poison, Joan Jett tour, which is called the Stadium Tour, one of the biggest grossing tours of the last few years. I mean, it's such a nostalgic kind of thing. People are buying tickets, and it's huge. We're not going to see them get back together. You know, sometimes you hear things like, yeah, there could be a reunion, but Robin Crosby had passed away, about 20 years ago. And it looks like Stephen Pearcy and Warren DeMartini are kind of not on the same page. So with that being said, getting replacement members of the band just not going to be a good representation of what Ratt was in the 80s. So I kind of understand. But, unfortunately for fans like me, not going to happen. So, man, great stuff. Stephen Pearcy from Ratt. So cool. So listen to me here for a minute. We're all busy these days. And we're not getting any younger. Trying to eat healthier. I don't know about you, but I don't have the time to meal prep the entire week. And usually convenience isn't healthy, i.e. fast food. Well, listen to me, because I have the answer. Factor. It's America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit. And I love them. Sure, you can buy one of those frozen things in the grocery store. Not only does it taste like crap, you're hungry an hour later. My Factor meals are fresh, never frozen, and delicious. Choose from over 34 dietitian-approved meals ready to eat in 2 minutes. You could try the Calorie Smart option, where you're looking at around 550 calories per serving. Protein Plus, if you're a meat eater like me. Or Gourmet Plus, if you're a little fancy. Head to factormeals.com/jobber50. Use code JOBBER50 to get 50% off. That's code JOBBER50 at factormeals.com/JOBBER50 to get 50% off. I urge you to check out that documentary, Nothing to Lose. You can stream it everywhere. And thanks again for listening to Celebrity Jobber, available on all platforms. And if you could please do me a favor, you like the podcast, give us a 5-star rating, leave a review. It really helps us. Subscribe. Past episodes up on celebrityjobber.com. Follow us on IG, Celebrity Jobber Podcast. I mean, you never know. Without this big break, what would Stephen Pearcy be doing? Luckily, music worked out for him, because after he got into that accident, looks like his dream of being a race car driver was not going to come to fruition. One day you're going to be selling my records, dude. I just love that story. Oh, man. Thanks for listening. Again, until next time, this is another episode of the Celebrity Jobber Podcast. I'm Jeff Zito.